Okay, Cozy Builders, I got a quick video for you on how I did my fuel filler caps that go in my Strakes. So what I'm going to use are these Newton fuel filler necks caps. They're non-locking, but I wanted mine to sit on top of my wing or on top of my Strake once it's all completed. And so here's the process that I used in order to prepare the Strake to mount this. Basically, I'll start with this example here. You've glassed the inside of your tank. You've put your top layer of glass on your Strake as well. So you also need to kind of indicate where you want your fuel filler cap, and it specifies in the plans basically so that you can see. Anyway, just look at your plans. It'll kind of give you a good idea as to where to put your cap. So what I did was, after the Strakes were glassed, both inside and outside, I then cut a circle, and you can see right here, it was actually, the circle's like 6 inches or so. Actually, let me measure that. So actually I cut out about a 5-inch circle. Now, so basically this is representative of what the cutout looks like. If you look at it from the side view, this being the inside of your tank, and then this being the top of your Strake. Basically, if you see here, I beveled the edges like that. So basically it was 5 inches inside here, and then not including the bevel. And so once you cut that out, you remove this little piece, remove this part here that you've cut out. Then I laid up 2 more layers of bidirectional. So the bidirectional basically laid down inside your tank like that, and that gives you a good glass to glass mounting point. Okay. So then, after at the point of finishing, what I've done is, these are my caps, my fuel filler necks, and I made a foam plug that's about 1/4 of an inch larger in diameter than the fuel filler neck at the bottom here. I just cut that out on a bandsaw. I just used a piece of scrap wing foam, made the circle, cut it out, and then I hot glued that little plug. Here, let me get one and I'll show you. Okay, so we'll let this represent the plug that I was just talking about. Basically what I did was I put a little dab of hot glue on the bottom and put it on the fiberglass area inside that beveled area. Okay, if that makes sense. Then I took my flocks and I floxed around that. Floxed around this. And so what that does is that gives you a and be sure to use either your MGS if that's what you choose to line your tank with, or the safety epoxy. I use safety epoxy. So then what that does is that gives you a glass to glass mount with nothing but good MGS flocks around this little plug here. Also, before I put the plug in, I put release tape around it. So once your flocks has dried, you can take your plug out and you have a hole, and that's exactly what you see here. My hole, and then I've got flocks on the in part on the perimeter of that. So you also are going to have that bevel out here, and so what I did was I used just the plain old filler micro and filled up to it, and then you can sand all this off once you get done and make it perfectly flush. So I'm not going to cut this hole out yet. I'm going to wait till I finish the airplane, paint it, and all that jazz. And once I get done, I'll then cut this hole out and then flux my filler neck in there. And that way it'll have a really nice finish. This will be perfectly level. And I know I'll have a good glass-to-glass seal, and the perimeter will be safety epoxy with flocks. So, I hope all that made sense. I'm not the best at explaining instructions, but that's how I have installed my filler neck mount for my strakes. So, hope it helps you guys. Keep building.